whatever is happening there in Russia and so on. So he wanted to take these people who were, you know, the Trotskys of the world, the Marxes of the world, all these people who, you know, were tell the working men to throw off their chains and unite and all, so on and so forth, which is a noble idea. I have nothing against it, but the Stalins take it over in the end and then blame the Jewish participants as not being real members of the proletariat or the people, and then take vengeance. Stalin, as you know, followed Trotsky all the way to Mexico and had him killed with a pickaxe in an apartment in Mexico. I guess you don't know these things, all of you, but that's what happens in these struggles. The native-born secret policeman, who Stalin was originally a secret policeman, always triumph in those environments. And so what Herzl was saying, look, let's give you guys something useful to do. You know, you're frustrated. Okay, we understand how frustrated you are. You're mediocre intellectuals. So he's going to put them to work building something positive. It's true we need workmen to set our machinery in motion. But you see, we have manpower enough, too much in fact. Well, in those days perhaps, not now. Only those who are ignorant of the condition of the Jews in many countries of Eastern Europe would dare assert the Jews are unfit or unwilling to perform manual labor. We've got laborers, you know, they're ready to go to work. They're not all pseudo-intellectuals. You know, we have the shtetls in the farming areas in the path of settlement. Okay, but in this pamphlet, I'm not defending them. That would be useless. I believe that man is steadily advancing to a higher ethical level. Oh my, there he is, perhaps misguided. He thinks we're getting more ethical as time goes on. But I see this ascent as painfully slow. Yeah, but you see, he does understand that destiny is changing at the end of that paragraph. And like I've said, these things arose when the technical means were up to it. And he understands that the technical achievements of our century, means the 19th century, have brought about a remarkable renaissance or situation that could really benefit humanity. Distance has ceased to be an obstacle. That's the big thing. And of course, in our day, it's even accelerated almost by light years, like you go into space when they have these science fiction movies and they suddenly go to light speed in you know, Return of the Jedi or something like that, you know, where you warp or go, you know, it's in our time it's accelerating probably too fast, which is why as these winds of technological change sweep over the little earth that we know, all the germs of past unsophisticated medical thinking sweep across with them. So we get new cancers and germs that attack the very institutions that produce these things. And I think to some extent that's what's happening. These countries are going to take, a lot of them, 300 or 400 years to move to a situation where the institutions in the countries develop sufficiently to support a real human rights, civil rights, democratic type society. You have to have guarantees, you have to have law courts that are honest, you have to have people who are willing to pay attention to constitutions, you have to have all this sort of thing occur. And what's happened is that this has not occurred in large parts of the world, and yet the technological advances are open to all of these different groups where it has not occurred. So I just went through going to Washington, D.C. and back airport security situations, which were unknown 20 years ago, as you know. And it is frightening to see what people have to do now to get on an airplane. It really is a sad commentary. I mean, okay, the technology is rising to the point that they may be able to frustrate bombers who want to destroy the airplanes. But there you are, you know, there is an example of the germ or the virus that comes along with like the computer virus, comes along sweeping into the modern world. So our technology may have accelerated too much. Anyway, his day it hadn't gone that far. He's talking about steamboats that can transport large numbers of people, but they can't do it in like, you know, 5 hours from LA to New York or something. It's going to take them like, you know, took 3 months to go across the Panama Canal was like, 6 weeks or 2 months or whatever. It was not, even the best steamboat voyages to Europe would take a week or 2. So it was not like we have communications. Telegraph, that was instantaneous, more or less, as long as they laid the wires. And so things were moving, but not like at jet speed or light speed as we have now. So he knows that it's possible. Things that were not possible then are possible now. Distance is no longer an obstacle. Our great steamships carry us swiftly and surely over hitherto uncharted seas. Look how optimistic he is, even though he's pessimist. Our railways carry us safely into a mountain world, hitherto cautiously scaled only by foot. Events occurring in countries undiscovered when Europe first confined Jews in ghettos are known to us in a matter of an hour. And I think he's talking about the blood libel in Damascus and things like that. We know instantly when these things happen. That's why the plight of the Jews is an anachronism. In other words, it's a thing out of the past. We don't have to remain in that plight. Nor because over 100 years ago there was a period of enlightenment, the Haskalah, Mendelssohn, and so on, which in reality affected only the most elevated spirits. The Enlightenment didn't really get down to the mass level. Okay, we have the electric light. So a few snobs, he says, the drawing rooms are illuminated. But, we have to solve a larger thing. And of course, he's dated in that regard. So the Jewish question is one of the problems that has to be solved. And he puts it there, and unfortunately Hitler too knows about that in due course. And when we solve it, and he never could have imagined the solution that was in store, I guess, although maybe he could have. But we're doing it not only for ourselves, but for many other downtrodden and oppressed being peoples. It exists, the Jewish question. It would be foolish to deny it. It's a misplaced piece of medievalism, which civilized nations do not yet seem able to shake off. Is that all it is? A misplaced bit of medievalism? Medievalism, if you prefer? I think he underestimates the roots of it, actually. He thinks it's just a matter of, I think, again, I have to emphasize the theological roots because I'm in a theological department, as it were. That may be good or bad. I may be wrong there. But I feel that people like